Those are for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, buy me halls, buy me halls. Okay, here we go. Now, is anybody else that thank you. Yeah, see how long it took? Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Conviction finally set in, didn't it? I'm so glad. All right, now, let's go from here, folks. I'm ready to roll. Last week, we touched on the verbal commitment. Do you remember that? How many folks were here last week? We talked about the verbal commitment. Now, here's what we're going to do, folks. Okay, we okay, Brother Petticord? Okay, here we go. We're going to talk on the verbal commitment. Well, Mr. Jones, do you know if you die today, you go to heaven? Yep. Old country boy. Yep, we made it right with the Lord a long time ago. Is he saved or lost? You don't know. Get ready used to saying that. Is he saved or lost? You don't know. Is he saved or lost? You don't know. All right. He may have got saved. He may have joined the church. Okay. Watch this. Mrs. Jones, do you know if you died today, you know if you'd go to heaven? Yep. How do you know? I was in the hospital back in 1932 and I made it right with the Lord. Saved or lost? Don't know. You don't know. Let me ask you, know if you die today, you'd go to heaven? Yep. How do you know? I just keeping the way of the Lord. Just living by the book. Is he saved or lost? You don't know. Here's the thing we stick with. People, and watch this, some little wimp man might let you push him through it. Some maybe unlearned lady might. But you take somebody of middle-class America, or you take some male that just happens to be a man, he's not going to take you pinpointing him down and saying, well, what did you do? When did you do that? How did you do that? Who are you? I own you. They're not going to take that. They're going to be offended by it, and you're going to be out on your ear, and you're going to blame the Lord when it was my ignorance and your ignorance, okay? People don't want to be jerked around like that. So this is what we call leading everybody. You can abbreviate. Everyone is a prospective convert. Say it with me. Everybody is a prospective convert. I was driving back 2 weeks ago from Indianapolis. Stopped, guy's car. What was it? Truck was broken down on the side of the road. Pulled over. Tried to help him out. Tried to get his thing jumped. While he was trying to get his truck jumped, was able to talk to him. He didn't know. Just plain and simple. And the old boy on the side of the road bowed his head and asked Jesus to come in his heart and save him. Everybody I talk to is a prospective convert. Everybody. And that's where we need to treat things. But now, we want to have leading a prospective convert and making a verbal commitment to that which they're trusting to take them to heaven. We call that leading the convert to make a verbal commitment. Let's say, what's it called? A verbal commitment. Say with me, a verbal commitment. People are so opinionated today. You know what? That tie doesn't go with that shirt, Brother Oliver. You know what? That's none of my business. And it does, because it looks a lot like a million. Boy, you look nice, don't we? Now, are you with me? That's nobody's business. I don't like the shoes you had on. Who asked you? Are you in? We're too opinionated. I don't care what you think, okay? And the same thing vice versa. Now, but folks love to give their opinion. Here's what you do. Mr. Monroe, do you know if you died today, you'd go to heaven? Mrs. Monroe, do you know if you died today, you'd go to heaven? Yeah, I do. Okay? Mr. Monroe, in your opinion, say that with me. In your opinion, you write this down. In your opinion, in your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do in order to go to heaven? Basically, Mr. Monroe, in your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do in order to get to go to heaven? Something along those lines. It doesn't have to be word perfect, okay? My jargon may be a little bit different than yours, but we want to keep it basic, okay? Mr. Monroe, what do you think a person, in your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do in order to go to heaven? Okay, now we're ready to go. Now, folks, once again, I said earlier, C.W. Fisk and I, one of my heroes, a man that I greatly love, trained me to be a soul winner, and he loved me and took time with me. But look at me, folks. Here's something that amazed me. We'd go into people's houses. We'd go into their homes, and we'd walk in. They didn't know us. Just two handsome faces. That was all. They didn't know us. And we'd leave there, and I got amazed. They'd walk out, Brother Fisk. Well, CW, okay, Brother Fisk, will you come? We'll see you Sunday. I said, how do you do that? How do you do that? And you folks that are not here last time, I covered it last week. Watch this. I'm going to be talking technique, how to say it, when to say it, when to say it, how to say it, when to say it, how to say it. But nothing will be done outside of the power and the blessing in this book. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts, Zechariah 4:6. It's God that has done it. I went to it, and I mentioned it before. One of my trainer was Gerald Whitman. I went to the door, knocked on the door. Hello, I'm Brother Scott. I'm Jerry Scott, and this is Jerry Scott, and we're visiting from such and such a church. Oh, man, blew this one. I've seen the person pray and get saved. I've taken people out sowing and training them what to say and spending time with fellows who are going to be out in the ministry. Go through it, and I'm sitting there saying, I can't believe he said that. Oh, he's blowing this one. A few minutes later, the people saying, Dear Jesus, please come in my heart and say it. I'm saying, maybe I ought to do it his way. Amen? No, it's not by might. It's not by power. It's by the power of the power of God. That's what it's all about. And folks, listen, because something's tugging at their heart. Are you with me? And that's what I want to go over quickly. Verbal commitment. Mr. Monroe, in your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Now, we're going to help them along here, folks. Now, watch with me. In your opinion, now you're going to be the sinners, okay? In your opinion, what do you think? I'm going to try to make eye contact with some of you. I've only got one eye, so look at my good one. All right, look at me. Look at me. In your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Of course, believe in God. Now, watch this. Don't say, let me make somebody, let me take Lori. Lori, don't say anything, okay? Now, watch this. We're going to act like she doesn't know. Okay. Here we go. Watch this. In your opinion, Lori, what do you think a person, now don't say anything, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Are you with me? We're playing right now, but it still feels uncomfortable, doesn't it? Sitting there looking at me, it's bad. Now look at me. Folks feel uncomfortable. Hey, I've got a wedding coming up. I've got, I think my husband's calling. Are you with me? Why? Nobody wants to be felt uncomfortable. And you sit there and my brother Petticourt over here, he starts, I know about that much about computers, just enough that I knew I needed to buy one from him earlier when I worked somewhere else. Now, listen to me. You start asking people questions they don't know, they get very nervous. They get very edgy. And folks, they put up a shield and you'll never break through. Are you with me? Help them. Now, go ahead and answer me. I'm going to say, look, in your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? And I'm going to say, and I'm going to help her just to get her started, jump started, okay? Believe in God. Yeah, believe in God, okay? Now, I'm going to let you do me. Watch this. You say, Scott, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? And I won't say anything because I'm dumb, okay? I was reared up here in this area. Now watch this. You ask me, what do you do, Scott, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? And then you say, believe in God. Okay, you say that for me. Okay, here we go. Listen, go ahead.
Mr. Scott, what do you believe a person needs to know to go to heaven?
Believe in God.
Believe in God.
Yeah, believe in God. Do you see what I'm saying? Folks, that's all the difference. Well, Scott, that seems like a small thing. It's no small thing. Are you with me? Folks, they're with you, but folks, they're nervous. You're a stranger, and you know how strange you are, okay? You're a stranger. They're in your house. They don't like the way you dress to begin with, okay? And look at me. So you're going to say, in your opinion, Mrs. Monroe, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Believe in God. Yeah, believe in God. You do that with me, okay? Here we go. Folks, what large family, okay? Educable, slow children on this side here. Watch this. Folks, family, and I've talked to 5, 6 people one time, no big deal. Now watch this. If God's there, amen. Now look at me. Folks, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Of course, believe in God. Yeah. Are you with me? You go right along with me. I'll overdo me. Mr. Scott, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Go ahead and ask me.
Mr. Monroe, in your opinion, what would you think you'd have to go to heaven? Well, believe in God?
Yeah, believe in God. Do you see what I'm saying, folks? That gets things wrong. We're going to stick words in their mouth. No, we're not. We're just getting them started. Are you with me? Now I'm going to go from there. We're going to go on these 4 things right here. If we can get them, remember, Jesus plus anything equals what? Hell. Say it with me. You want to teach guys, Carmen? No, I'm kidding. Jesus plus anything equals. All right, now, Jesus, so from now on, every time I think you, I'll think Noah. Now, Jesus plus anything equals what? Hell. Carmen, no. Jesus plus anything equals what? hell. Are you with me? So now, if we get them to see the fact that they're trusting Jesus plus something else, they're going to see that that's where they're destined to go unless they get saved. And watch this. If you owe me $5 and I say, forget it, okay? I won't, but if I did. If you owe me $5 and I said, forget it. Hell, that's pretty nice of me, okay? But if you owed me $5,000, forget it. If you owed me $5 and $5,000, I said, forget it. You're going to say, wow, man, what are there? Okay? But now, wait a minute. That's sometimes why people don't come to church after they get saved. They don't realize what a great gift they have. Here's somebody picks up a coin. I saw a fella showed me a coin, a $50 that had, who's the last one they did? Eisenhower. He said, look at this. I said, yeah, so Eisenhower on both sides. Can you say fortune? I knew you could. I said, oh, okay, I'll give you $1 for it. Okay. Now, no, he don't. Most folks don't realize what somebody gave that to him. They didn't realize what they had. That's a misprint. Are you with me? Can you say basic bucks? Okay. Can you say new car for daddy? Okay. Now, okay, or mommy. All right, no car for daddy. All right, now look at me. They don't realize what they got. That's what happens as folks. They get saved and they don't realize what they have because as a soul winner, we haven't done our job. So quickly, watch this. So in your opinion, Mrs. Monroe, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? 1, believe in God. Yeah. All right, believe in God. How about living a good life? That's the next thing you're going to put down. Number 2, how about living a good life? You think that would help? That's a key thing. Do you think that would help? Think that would help a little bit? A little bit's key too. Southern colloquialism meaning small participle, okay? Do you think that'd help a little bit? Let's say together. Do you think that would help a little bit? Say it with me now. Do you think that would help a little bit? Again, do you think that would help a little bit? Okay. So now, Ms. Monroe, in your opinion, what do you think a person would have to do to go to heaven? Basically believe in God. Yeah, believe in God. You think living a good life, you think that would help a little bit? Let's say it together. Do you think living a good life, do you think that would help a little bit? Repeat. Do you think that would help a little bit? Do you have that? Next thing. How about going to church? Do you think that would help a little bit? Next one, going to church. Then you can start putting whatever they are, semicolons down at the bottom, parenthesis marks, you know what they are. Okay. Do you think that would help a little bit? Okay, so first we have you think living a good life. You think that would help a little? Now talk to me, folks. Do you think that would help a little bit? Number 2, how about going to church? Do you think that would how about living a good life? Do you think that would? How about going to church? Do you think that would? Now watch this. Here in church, you'll get a lot of stoppers, and that's good. And they'll say, oh, no. We can sit at home and have church. TV evangelist, yeah, we can stay at home. Okay. You see what I'm saying? We just go on. Okay. All right. How about, next one, how about obeying the commandments? Do you think that would help a little bit? How about obeying the commandments? Okay. Do you think that would help a little bit? Oh, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not pull for the Bears when they play the Packers, and other things like that. Okay, now I feel heresy creeping in on us. Now, okay, here's what we're looking at. So I'm gonna say, watch me. I'm gonna shoot at. I'm talking to Brother Oliver. So, in your opinion, Mr. Oliver, what do you think a person? And folks, look at me. Intensity, consume. I'm talking to a man that's gonna burn in hell forever and ever if he doesn't get saved. Well, that was a tough one. Are you with me? In your opinion, Mr. Oliver, what do you think a person would have to do in order to go to heaven? Of course, believe in God. Right, okay. How about living a good life? You think that would help a little bit? Okay. How about going to church? You think that would help a little bit? Okay, that's supposed to be no. All right, now, how about, oh, he's easy to get lost. All right, watch this. How about obeying the commandments? You think that would help a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Got to keep those commandments, okay? Now, all right, I want somebody to do me with the first one, okay? I want somebody to go through the first one with me. And all I want you to say, Mr. Scott, do you think living a good life, do you think that would help a little bit? Let's get volunteers, okay? Mrs. Tharp, go ahead.
Mr. Scott, living a good life.
Oh, yeah, I think that would do a little bit. I want somebody to get me with church, okay, Brother Zelensky? Mr. Scott, do you think going to church, you think that would help a little bit? Go ahead.
Think going to church now.
Well, yeah, I think that'd help a little bit. Yeah, I think that'd help a little bit. I want, Carmen, you get me with, the obeying the commandments. You think you'd have to obey the commandments, Mr. Scott? Do you think that would help a little bit? Go
I
ahead.
think it is obey the commandments. Do you think that would help a little bit, Mr. Scott?
Yeah, I think so. Do you see what I'm saying, folks? Do you see what I'm saying? Now, so we've got basically, quickly, we've got, believe in God, right? Okay. How about living a good life? Think living a good life would help a little bit? Yeah. How about going to church? You think going to church would help a little bit? Yeah. No, I don't think so. Okay. All right. How about keeping the commandments? You think that would help a little bit? Yeah. Last but not least, how about being good to your neighbor? Do you think that would help a little bit? Are you with me? How about being good to your neighbor? You think that would help a little bit? I've got 9 minutes. Here we go. We're going to pull this thing in. All right. Now watch this. It may say yay to majorities, maybe nay to one. Now here's what I'm going to say. Mr. Monroe, so basically, you write this down. Mr. Monroe, so basically, Mr. Monroe, basically, you're depending. So basically, Mr. Monroe, you're depending on 4 or 5 things to take you to heaven. So basically, Mr. Monroe, you're depending on 4 or 5 things to take you to heaven. So basically, Mr. Monroe, you're depending on 4 or 5 things to take you to heaven. Okay? Is that correct? So basically, Mr. Monroe, you're dependent on 4 or 5 things to take you to heaven. Is that correct? Okay, everybody listen real close. So I'm going to do everybody real quiet. Watch this. So basically, Mr. Monroe, you're dependent on 4 or 5 things to take you to heaven. Is that correct? Yeah. Well, yes. Now, I'm being real specific. Write this underneath. I'm being real specific for a reason that I'm going to share with you later. So we're zeroing in that what he says he's going to mean. What she says she's going to mean. We're not just lickety-split through this thing. This is a commitment. So basically, Mr. Monroe, you're depending on 4 or 5 things. Is that correct? Now, I'm being specific for a particular reason, and I'll share with you a little bit later. So basically, you're dependent on 4 or 5 things. Is that correct? You say yes. Okay, I'm going to ask you. Everybody look right here. I'm going to do it real quiet. Everybody look right here at me. Here we go. I know it's discouraging, but I have to put up with it. You do too. All right, now, watch this. So basically, Mr. and Mrs. Monroe and children, that's you. Yeah. Okay? Basically, you're dependent on 4 or 5 things to take you to heaven. Is that correct? Brother Scott, you're kidding. No, I'm not. Are you that excited? It's everything I can do not to do that in the house. You're an animal. I know. But look at me, because I know what that means, folks. Now, and I'm going to do it to you just the way I do it in the house. So basically, Mr. and Mrs. Monroe, basically, you're depending on 4 or 5 things. Is that correct? Talk to me, folks. Yes. Okay. Now, I'm being real specific here for a particular reason I'll share with you later. So basically, you're depending on 4 or 5 things. Is that correct?
Yes.
Folks, if they're an honest thinker, they'll get saved. Okay, I shouldn't say that. If they're an honest thinker, they can see their need to be saved. Remember, God isn't willing that any should perish. They have to be the one to make the decision, okay? But folks, here's where it's going to come down to. Now, I'm giving you this so you can use this now. We're going to get in the door a little bit later. But watch this. Folks, you're going to get down to 10:13, especially with Catholic folks. And you're going to say, so in other words, if you ask Jesus, and I'm going to go quickly now, okay, just because of time. So, and fast forward. So in other words, Brother Scott, if you ask Jesus to come in your heart and save you, and God's not a liar, which he's not, and if you ask Jesus to save you, what would he do? He'd save you. So in other words, if you ask Jesus to save you, what would he do? He'd save you. So in other words, if I listen to the word of prayer and you ask Jesus to save you, what would he do? He'd save you, all right? So now, you know that you're a sinner, you realize because of your sin you deserve to go to hell, you realize Jesus died for you and raised again, and now, in other words, if I listen to the word of prayer and you ask Jesus to come in your heart and save you, what would he do? He'd save you. So in other words, if I listen to the word of prayer, would you let Jesus come in your heart and save you? And they say, I do that all the time. I did that. I asked Jesus to save me all the time. And you're sitting there saying, well, and folks, you don't realize in the rosary now, in one of their prayers, I've seen it with my own eyes, ask Jesus to save you. P.S. They're not saved. The prayer is not what saves anybody. As a man believeth in his heart. Folks get saved before they ever utter a word, okay? We have it just so they can reaffirm it in their mind and our minds, but they get saved when they believe it in their heart. The sinner's walking down, he's getting saved before he ever got to the aisle, okay? But now, watch this, please. Here's what we do. So in other words, Mr. Monroe, if I sit and listen to a word of prayer, and if Jesus wouldn't accept you, would you be, oh, I accepted him a long time ago. I've always believed in Jesus, Brother Scott. Now what do? You do this. It says, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. It didn't say if we were good, did it? Now I'll go through it in more detail next week. Didn't say if we were good, did it? No. Didn't say if we lived a good life, did it? No. Didn't say if we went to church now, did it? No. And this is part of, and you folks that were with us earlier, that's part of assurance of salvation on the other end. Are you with me? Okay. Now, shall be saved, period. So in other words, Mr. Monroe, if you ask Jesus to come in your heart and save you, and God's not a liar, which he's not, and you ask Jesus to save you, what's he going to do? Now here's what you do. But that word saved, and that says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. That is a stronger word. Now watch this. Here's key, folks. Write this down. You've prayed throughout your lifetime. You have prayed throughout your lifetime. We're not going to get this all done, but I'll just give you what we can right now. You've prayed throughout your lifetime. Talking about your family, your loved ones, your health. Okay? I want to finish you up, folks, and don't write now. Let me just get this in your head and your heart, and you can work on it later. Okay? Look at me. Here we go. So basically, Mr. Monroe, you've prayed throughout your lifetime for your family, your loved ones, and even asked God to forgive you. But the Bible's not talking about that. It's talking about this. Now we're going to bring back what we talked, the verbal commitment. Mr. Monroe, remember earlier, this is what salvation is. Earlier, you told me that you were dependent on 4 or 5 things. You remember that? Well, yeah. God says, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Period. God said, and you let them see this, folks. God said one thing. Earlier you told me 4 or 5 things. God said one thing. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Mr. Monroe, earlier you told me you depended on Jesus plus being good. Jesus plus living a good life. Jesus plus going to church. Jesus plus the commandments. Jesus plus being kind to your neighbors. Mr. Monroe, what did God say? How many things did God say? And they'll say, 1. Mr. Monroe, here's salvation. For you to go to heaven, Mr. Monroe, and I do it just like this. Let me do Oliver. Mr. Monroe, here's what we're talking about. For you to go to heaven, you have to do this. You can no longer depend on Jesus plus being good, Jesus plus going to church. For you to get saved, Mr. Monroe, you must do this. Watch this. You must no longer depend on these many things, but depend on one thing. And that one thing is Jesus. So in other words, Mr. Monroe, for you to get saved, you no longer depend on these many things. You depend on one thing, and that one thing is Jesus. And look at me, folks. No brag on this center because there's nothing to brag on. But I've literally seen hundreds and hundreds of people, Catholics especially, for the first time in their life, see this right here. That's it. All my life I've been dependent on these many things. It's so simple. It's just one. Yeah, Mr. Mole, that's all it is. So in other words, Mr. Mole, if I let us in a word of prayer, I'm going to go quickly now, just to let you see how it ends. So Mr. Mole, earlier you said that you understood that you're a sinner. Is that correct? Yes. Under 2, you said because of your sin, you realize you deserve to go to hell. And I'm going to touch on this later, but folks, we got to be specific. Not that you deserve to go to hell. Mr. Mo, you said that you realize, this is a personal application, that you realize that you deserve to go to hell. Yeah, I do. Third thing, you understand Jesus died for you and rose again. Last thing is this. Mr. Monroe, if I was to lead us in a word of prayer, and if you ask Jesus to come in your heart and save you, and if God's not a liar, which he's not, and you ask Jesus to save you, Mr. Monroe, what would he do? He'd save me. Mr. Monroe, if Jesus would be willing to accept you just like you are, would you be willing to let Jesus come in your heart and save you? Yeah, I would. And folks, when they pray, they realize It's this. And look at this. You can ask them. I'm talking about young children that I've won to Christ. And just because a man of God has taught me and God has taught me things, you can ask them, do you know if you died, they'd go to heaven? Yep. How do you know? Because Jesus saved me. How many things depend on? Just one. And folks, they've got it and they'll have it for all eternity. Dear Jesus, thank you for these fine folks. Oh, Holy Spirit, help us. Lord, we're nothing without you, Jesus. And Lord, I pray that you'll lead us to the prepared ones that we might be able to share with folks what you've commanded us to do. Help us now in your precious name. Amen. God bless you, folks. If you need to ask me anything or something I didn't cover, I'll be glad to.